is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin IT podcast. I got with me Sandstorm. How you doing, man?
What up? What up?
Also, Andre, the game idea guy.
Eventually, people are going to start hating me, and that's when you're going to see everything come out, and I'll be the antagonist of YouTube at some point.
Yeah, why y'all trying to make Andre go turn heel? All right. So, if you're looking at the title of the show, MLB The Show coming to the Switch in April 5th. Matter of fact, I did not see that coming. I personally wanted a King Griffey Jr. Switch edition, but apparently we can't do that. So we get an MLB The Show. What did y'all think about that? Because I expected it to go to Xbox and PC because reasons. I did not expect, and it's not a cloud version. It's an actual version. So I just want to get y'all thoughts on it.
Well, didn't the last one come to the Switch too?
I don't remember that.
I think it did. Like, if I remember correctly, it did, because when they decided they were going to put it on Xbox, they put it on Switch too.
The show?
Yeah.
Let's see.
If that's the case, it must have done well enough for them to we'll keep doing it. And I think that, if I remember correctly.
I'm looking to see now. I don't see anything that says that.
What is this? 22 or 21?
21.
Okay.
21. The one they're showing now is like 22. But I don't think it released on the Switch.
Yeah. I don't think it did
either.
Oh, I guess not.
Yeah, I see RBI. I see RBI for 21.
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe that was what I was thinking of. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But so what do you guys think? Good idea, bad idea? Indifferent.
It's a smart move for people who are baseball fans that have a Switch that want to play MLB The Show on the go.
Yeah.
I just basically wrote an advertisement in 10 seconds.
Yeah. I'm not a huge MLB person, but I like Andre said, it's a good alternative to now RBI, I guess. If you like that on PlayStation or on Xbox, that's something for you there, I guess.
Oh yeah. Now the other thing too is Shohei Ohtani is on the cover, so of course that's the smart play. If Sony, I'm trying to put this on everything. Look, to be completely fair, just gonna run into our next topic. The Switch is doing better than PlayStation in Japan. Mm-hmm. So your best bet.
It's not just doing better; it's doing way better, inexplicably better.
Yeah. So your best bet, in all honesty, your best bet is to put it on the Switch.
Get that software out there,
especially with Shohei splattered all over the cover, because that's just scream sales.
Mm-hmm.
That just scream sales. I mean, it pretty much, like you said, it sells itself.
Mm-hmm.
At that point. I just found it interesting because, of course, coming from because I was waiting for the crowd that it can't play on this system crowd, and I haven't heard from them yet.
Nah, you can't do that.
I don't think that you could get away with trying that with a sports game.
Yeah, not for baseball or basketball.
Well, I mean, people been saying it. People always say like, "Oh man, this can't play on it." I'm like, okay, yeah, man, whatever, dude. I thought we were past this, but apparently we're not.
I mean, people also said that Modern Warfare couldn't be run on the Wii, but it ended up being on there.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I mean, what is it? 60 million sold will do that at the time when it came out.
I mean, in all truths, though, if a game came out, if a sports game came out for a system like the PS4 or the PS5 or the Xbox One or the Series X, and there was a version that came out for the Switch as well, guarantee you that it will look like the last gen graphics on the Switch, and that's gonna be the talk. Oh, the pants don't move; they're not fluffy.
Yeah.
Look, man, you can't see all the little pixels in his shirt. And where's the sweat at? They missed that. Yeah.
First of all, I ain't checking that close on. I'm not checking that close on no guys. So
Why you looking so close on my man's?
like,
But I gotta see the sweat coming out the pores.
This is the closest I'll ever get to him.
I need to see his iris in his eye. I need to see his iris as well as the color of his eyes. Bro, you all right?
Want to take that man on a date?
So,
but I mean, it doesn't feel the same if I can't see the sweat just bleeding.
Glistening. Glistening. Gotta be glistening. Dude, when they did that trailer for what was it? Was it 2K a couple years back when they kept talking about the sweat and all that? You were like, what the hell kind of commercial am I watching?
Like,
that was the one.
Cares?
That was the one with what's his name? My man's from who came from Duke.
Zion.
Yeah, Zion.
I was in awe of that. I was in awe of that commercial. I'm like, they actually put this on, but I ain't hear not one person complain about it. I ain't hear not one person say anything about somebody being body positivity. I ain't hear nothing about no sexualization. I ain't hear nothing like that. Now all they kept doing was just showing this dude sweat. I'm like,
yeah, the oil was right. The oil was looking marvelous.
Am I watching? Because remember that Boondocks episode where they were making fun of Tyler Perry, that Mr. Jerome? It's like, why are they showing this glistening? Why are they doing that? So yeah, to me, it's like I don't care about all that. Now, to some people, if you play in the simulation game, I kind of understand where they're coming from. All jokes aside, I kind of understand where they're coming from. Is this a simulation game? You want it to simulate real life? I play video games to get away from real life. I don't play video games to get back in it. So
yeah. In reality, like I like my sports games too, but I don't play them nearly as much. And the only reason why I play those is because I'm a creative character whore. Like if it's got some sort of creative character, like I'm down for that, regardless if it's real life or not. But with that being said, when it starts getting a little too real life and y'all keep stealing the ball for no reason, and I'm a 75 and I don't know why this crossover is not working on you, I'm turning the game off. We're going to something a little more fantasy like, right? But yeah, I'm not a huge sports gamer type person, but like I get it for those other people and some of those people who really like the franchise. Is it franchise mode or something like that? Yeah. I think that's one of the bigger things, like with the esports and stuff like that, being able to trade around and draft around all these players and move them to different teams. And I mean, that's cool, but yeah, like you, I'm more into the fantasy world.
Yeah, I, for some reason, I guess because of when I started gaming, I actually prefer arcadey games when it comes to like sports and stuff like that. That's why, like, as much as, and we're gonna get into this a little bit later, as much as like I liked that Gran Turismo 7 State of Play, I did, but that ain't the kind of game I would play because I'm just like
It's too by the book.
Yeah, it's too by the book, and I don't have a red shell, or I'm not racing with a unicorn.
Yeah. If you losing already, you cannot double tap the gas button to get that extra little boost.
It's not gonna work, So, like I said, I can appreciate them, but they just not for me. So it's gonna be interesting. This is probably one game I would actually look and see how the sales do on it, because I'm just actually interested to see if the show actually sells on the Switch.
It should.
See if it does.
It should.
So the other thing that happened this week, Nintendo Switch passed 100 milli. They at 103.
How many videos I listened to this whole week about how the Switch was not okay. I put them in two different categories. I put them in the categories of people who are like, the Switch ain't gonna sell, it's gonna be an absolute failure, this is it for Nintendo, go third party. Then I listened to the other one, like the Switch has a possibility of doing well, but there are no third parties, they're not going to really have any games, they're going to have to rely on themselves again, and that it may sell a good 20 or 30 million. And that's really good. That's really good for a company like this, trying to go from having the worst console in their history to having this console, which is probably arguably one of the most experimental consoles in their history.
Mhm.
And I'm like, man, dang, both of y'all was hella wrong. Like, we had 100, we're at 100 million now. Like, and this is their best selling home console now at this point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Outside of like the
Yeah,
Game Boys and all that other stuff. So
yeah,
yeah,
it
that's
is.
wild. That's wild. You just went from having the best out of the Wii to having the worst out of the Wii U to having the best out of the Switch, and you riding a roller coaster. This is fun.
Well,
And guess who's responsible for all of them?
Andre.
I
I wish I was. Shoot. But Iwata was responsible for all of them because the
Yeah,
Switch is still his brainchild. So
Mhm.
yeah. And Andre, you actually made a good point in one of your videos I saw this morning, where basically uh the Switch is a stripped down version of the Wii U, and to be honest, that's what it is.
strip down Wii U with better hardware.
And the
Yeah.
funny thing about it is, it continues to expose a lot of the gaming industry, which is hilarious because that's the other thing I think you want meant to do.
Mhm. You know what's fun? You know what's really funny is that last week we had last week on the show, you guys were talking about how the Wii U is constantly trending. It's coming back every month
Yeah,
trending, right? So I went back and I watched the Wii U 2012. I finally finished that. Like I had to watch it in
Mm.
seconds, because they were irritating me. Digital Foundry. And it's so funny that they spent, I think the video was like 40 minutes, maybe. They spent 35 minutes talking about how bad the design and the architecture was and how games weren't coming through and this didn't get acknowledged and this never happened, came to fruition, and how this ran so poorly and all this other stuff. But at the tail end of the whole thing, they're like, we just want to let you know, like, the Wii U is still like one of our favorite systems. Just we've had so much fun with this system, and there were some really great games that came out of there. And like, just because we talked all this negativity about it doesn't mean that we didn't necessarily not like it. And I'm like, y'all lying. Like, don't lie to me. I was there. I was there day one, listening to every single one of y'all little bashing moments, and y'all still doing it. And wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
y'all still doing it. And then to hear, oh, I hope this comes to the Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles X can still come. That was back
no,
when everybody was still on the Xenoblade Chronicles is still gonna come to the Switch, and
like
I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, man, these guys, yo,
there's no way that game can run on the Switch, and I keep
I
telling
mean,
people that there's no way it
run,
can.
run, yes, but playability wouldn't be the same.
it would
Not at
it
all.
would be way different.
Nobody would.
It
It
would be
would be
so
too much
much
starting and
stop and go.
stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
there's no
never
way to do
okay, if you never played the game, then you would never know that
it. Yeah.
the things that you don't like about it, which is probably going to be managing the map. A whole
Mhm.
lot of it's going to be map managing, and you'll be like, wow, this is
Mhm.
really slow and taking me out of
Mhm.
the experience that I gotta press this button to look at the map, then press to go back, and
Mhm.
then like I can't see everything in my mini map. Like that wasn't a thing on the Wii U. Like it was just all right there. You had it right there. Fast travel, you ain't have to hit the plus or
Mhm.
the minus to go. It was just right there. So yeah, playability wise, I think it wouldn't. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Well,
It's possible,
it's
but would you
possible, but
like
not the
it?
same
And
way.
that's a no.
It would be
Yeah.
it would be like it would be like going backwards from Ocarina of Time 3D to
Hmm.
Ocarina of Time in 64.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
equivalent change there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I keep trying to tell people because I'm like, dude, it got to a point where when I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles X, I set the gamepad to the side and I have my Pro controller so I can just
That's the most optimal way to play.
it's easier.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I don't understand. And the killer about it is when I hear people that have played the game and say it should come to the. I'm like, no, bruh, no. Unless you're
I
gonna
can.
put that, unless you're gonna make a separate app to where I can use it on a tablet, because you can't use it on a phone. I can use it on a
No,
tablet or something or a laptop. There ain't no way in the world I would play that. No.
nah, it's
I
not
mean,
possible.
I can get where people are coming from because they want to see that particular game get more sales, and hopefully there'll be a Xenoblade Chronicles X2.
I would love
I
that.
understand from that
But
perspective,
it,
but at that
unless
point,
you,
it's not the same. It
mm-mm.
Yeah,
really is not the same.
yeah. You couldn't
Lego
even.
City Undercover lost its functionality. Wonderful
Yep.
101 lost its functionality.
Mhm.
New Super Mario Brothers U lost its functionality. Super Mario 3D World lost its functionality. A lot of Captain Toad lost functionality. A lot of games lost functionality from the transition from the Wii U to
Two,
the Switch. It's
yeah,
Yep.
that two screen was actually essential in all of those games. You can't even ghost. You can't even ghost screen it over the regular because it's just
Mm-mm.
that it just it's too cluttery.
Mm-mm.
It's too cluttery.
But that's what people wanted.
So let
And
me
I'll
ask
leave
you.
it at that. And I'll leave it at that.
Let me ask you this then. We're at I think what was the number
103.
103. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
103.
we're at a
103.50, 103.41.
yeah. So we're at that point. We're coming on year 5.
Yep, in another month.
And we know that Switch is at least going to get another year because it's already successful.
It's probably gonna get
Mhm.
another 2 years
I'm thinking that too.
because of
I'm
the chip
thinking
shortage. The chip
I'm
shortage.
thinking it's going to get a good solid 7.
Yeah, because people are complaining about the Nintendo president coming out and saying the Switch is in the middle of its life cycle. I'm like, y'all need to understand something. This chip shortage is not a lie; it's real.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of these come. There's a reason why you can't. You really think Microsoft would purposely not put out Series X's if they could?
Right.
At this point, no.
PlayStation is going back to making PlayStation 4s.
They don't have a choice because if you still got all those old parts and they just sitting up in a warehouse, you got to
You
get them
might as
out.
well. You might as
Yeah,
well.
you got to get them out. And on
You
top of
already
that,
paid for 'em.
yeah, and on top of that, you have to play. You still have to put all those games on that system anyway because what's bigger? 100. I think PS4 is at 120 something million. I think
Mhm.
120 million or 15.
Right.
120. So that base is where you need to be putting these games
Yeah.
to.
You can't ignore
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
So what do you
So
think? What do you think the Switch is going? Let's say we give it 2 years, 2 solid years. March 2025 is the last. What is this? 2022,
it's 2022.
2024 is the last year that Switch gets its Nintendo support. Let's say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, where do you see the number at?
Probably around
Probably,
PS4 right now.
yeah, probably around
Yeah,
PS4. Yeah.
I was gonna say about 117, 118.
Yeah,
I
somewhere in
think
there.
that's a general number.
Unless they drop something ridiculous and people just be like, I gotta have it.
Well, I mean, that could come in the form of Breath of the Wild. That could come
Yeah.
in the form of,
Prime
well,
4.
Prime 4 if
Because Dread
everybody is
Dread moved
actually
numbers.
staying
I
on
didn't
it.
think Dread was gonna move systems, but Dread did move systems.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So, I mean, and that's 2 months too, by the way. That's 2 months for Dread
yeah,
being on
damn
3,
near
almost
almost 3
3. Yeah,
million. Yeah, almost
yeah,
3 million.
yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's crazy how well the Switch has done for itself, even in the midst of a situation like we're in right now.
Well,
Um,
I think it goes to the fact of A is cheaper than their competitors, and
mhm,
B you can take it with you everywhere. You can't
mhm.
take
Hmm.
you're not hauling that PS5, that PS4, or that Xbox One, or that Series S or X. The S you
No,
might take, S you might, but X you're not. You're not hauling them things anywhere.
no.
Like you can even with the dock, you can put that in a book bag
Mhm.
and you're good to go.
That was
So
a brilliant idea on their part. And I'm glad. I will say this. I'm glad. I'm kind of happy that the Wii U didn't necessarily do as well as they wanted it to because I feel like the Switch was like not just for us, but more so for I say one for the haters and the developers and stuff like that. The people who really fell off on the Wii U and was really kind of done with Nintendo and thinking that they still couldn't take a a chip that was already out there, the Apple model, and master a chip instead of taking a chip that was new and trying to throw it out there and get the stick. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad that the Wii U was, in some ways they doubled down on that, in some ways they kind of just moved aside from that, since y'all didn't really want virtual console and all that other stuff. Miiverse. Um but
They
but
wanted
I'm glad
They want it now.
they want it now. But I'm glad they doubled down on the idea that they could have something that could literally be on the TV, or something that didn't necessarily have to be on the TV, that they could still get your attention or have your focus on your device. So I think that's a testament to the late and great, before he left us. So
Yeah. I mean, he had a plenty stuck to it, and I'm glad he did
mhm.
because once again, the Wii U was not the Wii U was. I'll say the Wii U was ahead of its time, especially feature wise,
It was. It
because
was.
anytime I hear people complaining about the features, oh, we still don't have voice chat. Stop saying we don't have voice chat.
Hmm.
I'm not going to explain that again. I'm so sick of seeing people like, but I don't want them to be like Microsoft and Sony. Yes, you do, because everything you complain about is what Microsoft and Sony doing.
Right.
So clearly, that's what you want.
And it's funny. The Wii U came out at a time that developers, the way that they would make games was kind of switching, and Nintendo got stuck
Yeah,
in that transition, because the PlayStation 3 and the 360 were so CPU heavy. That's why they work so well. But the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One were starting to move to that GPU doing all the tasks, where the CPU kind of handled the rest of the tasks that the GPU gave out to it. And the Wii U was built like that. But it was built like that trying to do the stuff that 360 and the PS3 did. And I think that's where it got crude. I had a whole deal about that. I feel like that was an unnecessary uh beheading of a console that was way ahead of its time.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
it
mean,
definitely was.
yeah,
Especially when you go with the insult. I'm trying to think of which racing game was it that was on the 360 and the Xbox One and PS4, and their reasoning for it being on the 360 was that it was closest to next gen hardware, but it skipped the Wii U. I
was
was
that
like, I think that was the crew.
yeah, it was the
Yeah.
crew.
I was
It was the crew.
hold on, the hardware in the Wii U is an upgraded version of the 360. So how
It didn't make
logically,
sense.
how does that make any sense?
It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense because they got called out on it. They actually got called out on it, and they quickly shut up. They
I was
quickly shut up. They got
like
called out on it.
I was like, if anything though, then that would mean that if you put it on, if anything, that would mean the only thing it should have skipped was the PS3.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's like y'all just put your foot in your mouth on that one,
yeah,
or
and
or their statement meant it was enough like the Wii U that we could use it instead of the Wii U.
Right.
yeah. It was messed up in and of itself. Okay, so there was that. Okay, so I really didn't want to talk about this, but I feel like I kind of have to because I understand where some people are coming from, but I also understand Nintendo side of this, and they have went out to people who have put their music up on YouTube.
Mm.
Now, I understand why they did it. It's their IP.
Right.
It's theirs.
Facts.
You can't get mad at that. I mean, you can sit up and pretend like you mad, but I will say this to anybody getting mad: if you own something, if you built it up, you went through all the, you got a trademark, all that stuff, and people started liking it, they became fans of it, and then they started using it. You would
Mhm.
lawyer up just as fast when
Mhm.
Oh
somebody
yeah,
else took it. You would lawyer up quick.
there's definitely YouTubers that do it now.
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
YouTubers that do it now. So I understand why Nintendo's doing this. They have every right to. Now the flip side is Nintendo. Why don't y'all just sell the damn soundtracks over here? Y'all sell them in Japan. Why don't you just sell them over here?
That is the big
'Cause-
problem. You have to
Because
order
America
special-
doesn't listen to video game music. They don't do that.
That's
Okay.
what people have you
Okay.
believe.
Okay. No, because that's the thing. I'm like, Nintendo, there's a real easy way to fix all of this is sell it, let it go to Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music. Just let it go to those places. You're gonna get money off top.
Oh yeah, you would definitely get a lot of money.
So I understand that you gotta do, but the reason why these people are doing it because you won't sell them over here. You sell them in Japan, but you won't sell them over here. I got like 3 things on I got an email. They were selling on Play Asia the Japanese soundtrack for Breath of the Wild, and it was 5 discs full of music. And I'm like, why aren't y'all selling that over here? You don't want them to do this, and I completely understand, but at the same time, it's your stuff. You selling it in one place, sell it everywhere else.
Right.
All right. I do have an argument of sorts that I think would make some sense, though. And that is possibly that they're planning to do their own music service, if not translate their stuff over to other streaming services already. Is just think about it. These songs and stuff have been up. These OSTs have been up on YouTube for years before they touched them. And they only tend to touch something if they are planning to do something with it.
I think you're onto something. So if you think about it, how many
revenue stream?
How many songs do we have in Smash? Like over 1,000?
It's over 1,000. It's way over 1,000.
Yeah,
it was at 1,000 before the DLC.
Before the DLC. so and you can listen to all those songs like a media player. You don't really even need the actual game up. You can have it silenced or the screen in black and it'll still play for you. So I'm thinking you're on to something, Andre, because if they do that there, all they have to do is just take that idea and put it as a separate app in itself, even on the Switch.
They already got an app. They just need to use the app. They got an app. They got 2 apps. Pick one.
Yeah.
And put it to it. Just pick one and put it to it, and just let people stream whatever music they want to stream. If you want to tie it to Nintendo Switch Online, just tie it to that.
Yep.
At least that way you're getting paid.
Part of your service, yo. That would be really dope. That part of your streaming or your yearly.
Yeah. That way you're getting paid.
And people won't be complaining. Well, people will be complaining.
They're gonna complain regardless.
They won't complain as much.
I agree with Ray. Yeah, give me that Xenoblade series soundtrack. I'll take that.
Especially
that Monday through Friday. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was man.
Oh yeah.
Heard that music is just like, why is this not an available soundtrack?
You just stand there. You just let your character just stand there while you just bumping it.
You can put that whole soundtrack in your workout playlist.
Yeah.
For real. So Sony buys Bungie?
Not a big deal, honestly.
It's not
really
a big deal.
It's not, and it doesn't mean what you think it means. Number one,
it's not a big deal.
Sony is not going blow for blow with Microsoft. They
can't.
They can't. No. They literally can't. The other thing too is, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Bungie ain't as profitable as y'all think.
No. That's what I was saying. Like that's what I put on Andre. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, I know you guys did, but out there in the chat, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, but like I said, like this move is like Sony taking Microsoft's ex-girlfriend, like I got your ex-girlfriend now. Nah. Like
and everybody like
they don't care, they about
like,
to get married. You know what I'm saying? Like they're married, got kids. And, you know what I'm saying? Like who cares?
Yeah.
It's not like they got Halo with it. You know what I'm saying? Like
some idiot thought they did.
I was like, hey, Bungie ain't touched Halo in
years.
Yeah.
The last one they did was 3.
Not
the
Reach.
last one they did.
Reach
was the last one? Okay.
Yep.
I thought that was the first one 343 did.
Mm-mm.
What was the first one 343?
The first one 343 did was 4.
Yeah, I thought it was 4. Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's been years.
Years, man.
It's been quite
It's coming on 10, ain't it? It's coming on 10 years, ain't it?
Yeah, they ain't. look, Bungie and Microsoft ain't been together since high school. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like it's not it's really not that big of a deal, man. But with that being said, I'm glad that Sony felt like they needed to get somebody
Well,
to show off, and if they're gonna use them, if they're gonna actually use them for something like resistance or something like that, then actually use them.
yeah.
Don't parade them around acting like you got the baddest chick here when your chick was just with you know a star just not too long ago, and she just had some rough times. Like you ain't gonna you're not about to bring her back off her stardom. So just man, people are
Best
crazy.
thing, best thing they do is do not do what Microsoft did to Rareware.
Yeah,
Yes.
please
Do
don't.
not do what Microsoft did to Rareware.
Yes.
That was a. We should be on Jet Force Gemini 4 and Killer Instinct 5.
So
Just
so let
saying.
me ask, how does that work when it comes to like Destiny? Because I thought that was an Activision, a
That was,
whole.
but they got it. They got the rights back from Activision.
Okay.
They got it
So
back.
that Microsoft ain't holding out that pimp hand like you know who to pay. Go ahead and make a third one. You know who to pay.
Well, the
Take
thing
that
is,
money in my hand.
it does it does Sony no good to make Destiny exclusive.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
It does them no good.
no.
So a lot of these, like even with the Activision deal, and to some extent the Bethesda deal, it
Mhm.
does Microsoft no good to keep all of those titles
To
exclusive.
themselves. Nah.
This
Nah.
ain't a Nintendo situation.
Nah.
They need to make that, and we all know Microsoft. Microsoft like, look, y'all gonna put it on everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't like Nintendo. What did I say?
Yeah.
Like,
We trying to pimp out everything. We
yeah.
trying to get all the money.
We're trying to get paid. So like I don't want to hear you don't like them. You finna make it work.
And that's how
So
it is. That's how it should be with Sony with Bungie, because I mean, where Microsoft has the dollars to be like, "Oops, we messed up. All right, let's
they
try it
don't.
again." Yeah, Sony doesn't have
They
that
on
kind of
thin
cash
Hold,
ice.
money.
hold on one second. See, I will say yes, Rare did have some decent games with Microsoft, but do not ever tell me the Perfect Dark Zero is a decent game versus
Yeah,
Perfect Dark.
bro. Yeah.
When they changed so much in Perfect Dark Zero to make it the game it was, that it lost everything that made Perfect Dark great. That is not, no,
I,
I will never consider that a good
I will
game
give you Viva
for
Pinata. I
Rare.
will never give you Perfect Dark Zero.
I ain't
Viva
giving you nuts
Pinata,
and
that
bolts. You
series,
ain't getting
Yeah.
that either.
Viva Pinata is a great series.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But Perfect
Cameo
Dark,
was a great game that should have been a series.
that should have been a series, yes. I agree.
But a
But
lot of the other stuff that happened with Rareware was garbage after they got to Microsoft because Microsoft did not allow them to pay attention to the details that they normally do.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I remember reading the article that one of the execs at Microsoft thought they had Donkey Kong. Like,
Oh yeah, he
No,
legitimately thought it. Yeah.
yeah, like no, dude, you got Perfect Dark, but you got a lot of good stuff. Like
Hmm.
if you go and play Rare Replay and you see all the stuff they had, and you're like, why in the world would you not keep some of this stuff going?
Yeah.
Why?
I guarantee you, if they would have got Donkey Kong, they would have mascotted Donkey Kong. That would have been.
mm-hmm.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
You
No, they
don't think
wouldn't.
so?
No, they wouldn't. No.
actually,
Master Chief is their mascot. No,
actually,
they
during that
got
time period, they
Peach.
probably
You're
tried to
right.
make Donkey Kong realistic, and that would have been a
Yeah,
problem.
which would have been a problem.
Oh,
They were trying to make it serious, and you saw what they did to Conquer.
right.
They act
Mm.
like Conquer don't exist. And this is a mature console. Why aren't you having fun with Conquer?
And I still
Nah.
remember that thing of Young Conquer. It was like, mm-mm.
Oh no, yeah, no. Yeah, but that's what, to me, in my opinion, and this is just
Mhm.
my opinion and my thoughts. As long as Sony does not do what Microsoft did with Rare to Bungie, they should be fine. Because I think they'll be able to help them with Killzone. I think they'll be able to help them with some of their other games, and they may even be able to actually come up with some exclusive
Something
titles just
new.
for them.
Yeah, yeah,
Because they come with a nice sized team. It's not
yeah,
like it's a 4-person team at Bungie.
yeah.
So you got a nice sized team.
It's not like Bungie is a bad a bad developing team. It's just you got to put them to work. You got to make them
Yeah,
work on something.
yeah,
Whether, like you said, whether it's new IP or something like, but don't sit on that acquisition. And I mean, I say this to say that like I don't think anything is actually going to come for us for at least 2 or 3 years. Like
yeah,
because this is so brand new. Like don't expect something at the next E3 from Bungie like that.
yeah. That ain't gonna happen.
That's not going to happen unless it was something they already had in the works. Then you could see something. But if it's something from under Sony's under their roof, don't expect that to happen. At least, definitely not next year.
No, I would say at least like two. And I would say that about Activision as well. Unless that
Yeah,
was already something they're already working on,
yeah.
don't expect to see like a lot of stuff. Um, but yeah, I to me, Railroad was one of those situations where I'm like, y'all got so much. I was actually interested in seeing what Microsoft's going to do with them, and what
Hmm.
they they didn't do
Hmm.
hardly anything with the library that they had from them. I mean, it's bad when you have the Stamper brothers actually come out and say they probably shouldn't have took the money. They should stay with Nintendo.
Yeah, that's
That's sad.
legendary. That is a legendary moment in gaming history.
Yeah.
Microsoft to take over Rare, and Nintendo be like, "There you go."
Yeah. Well, at the time, Nintendo was hurting. They needed the money.
Yeah.
So at the time, they did need the money. That's why I was like, it wasn't. It was one of those situations where they actually needed it. And I'm like, I think if Nintendo had to do it over again, they probably wouldn't have let that happen if
Hmm.
they had to do it over again. But at the time,
Right.
decision had to be made. So,
Right.
um, Ray, I did hear that too, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
The one that
Sony
people
ain't
are
buying no Capcom.
yeah, the one that people have been talking about, and this is why I think Microsoft has been on a buying spree, is EA. EA, there's a rumor going around that Amazon, Netflix, and Google are looking into buying EA. When Microsoft sits up and tells you that Nintendo and Sony aren't their competition, that's not a knock.
Mm-mm.
That's really not a knock. I know people try to make it seem like it's a knock to them. It's really not. Their competition is Google, Netflix, and Amazon. That's the people that got the money like they do.
Hmm.
As much as I love Nintendo, as much as I love Sony, they don't have the money that Microsoft got.
No.
They don't.
Mm-mm.
It's leagues apart. Um, but who does? Apple,
Hmm.
Amazon, Netflix, and Google. They have that money.
Hmm. And
That's
if
why
you,
I'm surprised. Surprised at Stadia. I'm like, y'all actually got the money to like do stuff, and y'all won't do it. So I don't understand that. But then Google does stuff that makes literally no sense sometimes.
and you, I think you
Mm.
should. I think you. You got to kind of think about it too, because if they're buying, if those other three companies are trying to buy EA, none of those three companies are like legitimately in gaming like that. Like
Yeah.
Netflix has its games and stuff like that, and Google has a service, but they're not really doing much with it. And
Mm-hmm.
Apple is just doing what
Being
Apple
Apple.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, like out of the ones that Microsoft says, that Microsoft is the only one who is like feet literally in gaming. So for them to be like, okay, and I had to think about this with the whole Activision thing, because it was like, a whole bunch of people were like mad because they're buying out all these companies, and I get it. Like I don't want them to get bought out either, but
Yeah,
I would
but
much rather them get bought out by a company that is solely planted into gaming than other companies who are just looking for other ways to make dollars that don't really actually understand gaming outside the money aspect of it.
yeah,
So it's like Microsoft had to do what Microsoft did. Now, if Apple got Activision, best believe all your games from Diablo, Immortal, all the way up are all gonna be mobile games. You ain't get nothing
yeah,
else. That's it. That's
yeah.
it. Mobile
Like
games.
you're gonna have to get Apple Plus.
Yes, that's how it was going to be. Google,
Same deal.
you getting something, but I can't guarantee you that you will get a sequel for anything.
Yeah,
Um, and and Netflix, like I'm just not sure about Netflix. I mean, they've had some good games or whatever, but like they're new. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
You got to wait and see what they're like.
yeah. So if we're talking about acquisitions or whatever, I hope if these companies are still trying to acquire other companies that are in the gaming division, at least at the very minimum, they're still going to be bought by somebody else who actually cares about gaming instead of somebody seeing it as another dollar to give to their people so they can buy another mega yacht.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-mm.
I mean that's and it's and look, Google, and I've said this before. Google, they have ADHD when it comes to stuff they own, because they will drop something with the quickness. They will drop something with the absolute quickness,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be like, "But I was using that."
They're
I
like,
mean,
using what? What were you using?
look, Google Plus, Hangouts on there, they will drop stuff in the. You're like, I was using this. Yeah, you well, you ain't using it now. So I mean, that's why I'm like, that's why I'm worried about Google stuff, because it's nothing for Google to do that.
Hmm.
It's
Google honestly
nothing for them
needs
to
to
do that.
just drop gaming in and of itself because they're not going to do anything positive with it.
Yeah.
Dude, they have
No.
what's the guy now? Phil Harrison,
Hmm.
gaming's Bond villain. I mean, everybody should have known something was up when they saw him come out on stage at that first Stadia Connect. When they saw him come, every game was like, "Oh God."
Oh my god. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations, but yeah, oh man, it's actually kind of funny. So before we get into the whole getting your guys' thoughts on the whole Gran Turismo situation, I wanted to ask y'all a question, because I've been going back through some Dreamcast games, and I was
Hmm.
like, why doesn't anybody have Dreamcast games added to their digital stores yet?
I don't know. I
Well, I would assume the same thing is what happened with a lot of Microsoft's backwards compatibility is licensing.
Licensing. Yeah, because I remember they were asking somebody from Sega about the whole Skies of Arcadia situation, because people was asking for like a remaster to get it up to HD, and they were like, "Yeah, we can't do that." So essentially, is how that conversation went. Um, yeah, I don't. There
I
were a
think
lot of games. There was a lot of gems on that system, man. There was a lot of them on that system.
Oh yeah, a lot, and
I
many of them are often forgotten.
Yeah,
is this us just being the vocal minority, or is this like a legitimate thing that like a lot of us as gamers actually want? Because like everybody I talk to is like, yeah, the Dreamcast, I remember that. I remember this game
Nah,
and this game and this game. But I still feel like it's it's like a certain group.
it's
It's not enough of us to be like, okay, maybe we should start doing this.
no. See, the problem was back then, everybody was ripping and burning
yep,
Dreamcast games. Nobody
Hmm.
yeah,
was
they
buying them
were.
brand new, and that was the big problem. So none of the companies were making money off the games, which is why they just don't know that a bunch of people actually like them.
Ah,
That's
okay.
why I tell people all the time: if you say you want F Zero and you love F Zero so much, you should have bought it.
Hmm.
And
You
I
better
don't
buy that
mean
expansion pass.
I don't mean buy it used. I mean buy it new. You have to, because that's the only way. That's what they count.
Hmm.
They don't count used. Used games, when you buy them from Best Buy, when you buy them from Walmart, when you buy them from Target, when you buy them from GameStop, that goes to games. That goes to them. That doesn't go to the
Hmm.
developers.
Yep.
You have to buy the game new. And when you try to explain that, people get mad. But like, well, I can't afford it. Then you probably shouldn't be gaming then, bro.
Right. This is
Or
not
just
your
pick,
hobby.
yeah, or just pick what games you want to support and buy it. And if that's the series you want to support, just buy it brand new.
Hmm.
Yeah, I ain't saying buy everything brand new if you don't want to. I'm just saying the series that you support, buy it brand new, because if you buy it used, you're not supporting them. So what happened with Dreamcast, and I remember this because I was in college. Dreamcast and PS1, boy, there was always somebody in the dorm room that, hey dog, want that driver? Don't worry, man. You ain't got to worry about going to the store, man. Don't go to the store. Come holler at your boy. You know.
He got the
And
flip book.
flip book open.
Like, which
Hey,
one you
look,
got? Like, which one you want? I give you this one $5. You get this one $5. Come on, which ones you want?
Hey, dog. I got that Marvel's Capcom 2, baby. Yeah, dude. So it was stuff like that was going on. And look, I may have bought one or two because I was a broke college student. And look, man, sometimes you did what you had to do. God dang it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, look, I have no regrets, and I tell the truth. But oh yeah, that's what was happening, and the only reason why I know that because like at the time I was on a college campus, so I saw people doing it.
Mhm.
They were just like, hey, look, dog, hey, look, man, you want that the NFL 2K dog, that 2K1 dog? I got you.
Mhm.
Come on, let your boy. Man, you ain't got a bad game, you new man. Come on, let your boy. You know you ain't got that money. Come on, let
Fresh.
your boy. Got
Fresh.
it fresh. So fresh. And on top of that, it will play in your console, bro. You ain't even have to worry about it. I'm like, bro, you would get, dude, they would give you a sales pitch. Them dudes would give you a sales pitch that would be like, yeah, you're right. You absolutely right. You're right. Yeah, man. You know what? That is a good deal. I will take that deal. Not realizing you're killing your hobby.
Right.
Not realizing it. But yeah, the PS1 and the Dreamcast, they had major piracy problems. Just because it was just easy to do. I mean, it was just easy to do, and people was ripping them. They were burning them, and they sell you $3 for $5.
Mm-hmm.
When you want to play Soul Calibur,
Right.
Or you was looking at that Power Stone disc a little hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know you ain't got enough money to get ready to
You
run
ain't
for
got
Bowser
enough
2, but
money.
you keep seeing the Afro Thunder commercials. You like,
Guess I'm gonna have to go see my man's.
yeah, because that was hollering my boy. And they always seem to come around right around homecoming.
Yep. That's where they get the most money. That's where they get the most money.
They be
Play is
outside
the
with
easiest to hide.
Yeah.
they be outside with 3 big CD on DVD players. What you want to play? I got my. This is the Sony one. This is Dreamcast. This is what you need. I got what you need. I got what you need.
Got his own table and everything. Hold on. Let me just lay this down.
Well, nah, the real hustlers was the ones that was getting the PC games and ripping them and giving them to people too.
Met a couple of those too. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm pretty sure everybody in our age group can probably tell war stories about, hey, look, man. Hey, look, man, we did what you had to do. Now, I'm a working adult now, so I can afford to do what I'm supposed to do the correct way.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was young, dumb, and y'all know the rest.
Yeah. Go to Detroit. You every corner.
I mean,
you look like you play video games. Hey, come over here, man. Come over here. You look like you play
man.
video games. Come here.
Look. Just understand, man. You help brother out. When you help me, you helping the black community.
They'll get you with that black community.
They will get you with that so hard. They will get you with that so hard. You be like, yeah, man, we do need to help each other out. Let me get 2 of them games, man. Let me give you 2 of them games. I can help you out. Let me get 2 of them games. Like,
all right, my brother.
Yeah.
Send his little son on. Hey, go talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to him. He wanna.
Go on. They gonna tell you no, you 3. They ain't gonna tell you no, you 3.
Man.
So
those some of the craziest and meanest hustles ever.
Hey, but they made it work. So I cannot hate. I just cannot hate. All I can do is I just sit back and laugh sometimes. I'm like, you know what? That was funny, but that shouldn't happen.
Right. We'll do better next time. time.
So yeah, that was one of those things. So Sony, they had 2. I missed the Ghost Wire one.
Oh no, they have one for Ghostwire.
Yeah, it was 19 minutes. I need to go back and watch it. But they had a state of play. I did a live reaction to it when it dropped. First of all, I want to get y'all guys' thoughts. Have y'all had a chance to watch it?
The state of play for
Gran Turismo.
Or
Gran Turismo.
Gran Forza. Wow, look at me. Yeah, for Gran Turismo. No, I have
Getting them
not.
flipped.
With Gran Torino with
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Right.
Yeah.
Say, I did get to watch it, like, and it did look good, but it's not like Gran Turismo hasn't ever been an impressive
Top of the
racing
line,
game.
yeah. That's
Right.
That's how it started out. That's how it's going to continue. So it's not like I was extremely wowed, but the idea that there could be races that are so big that you could deal with different weather systems within those races, that is something that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, as Jay pointed out in his live stream, they didn't show anybody hydroplaning on the water, so I'm wondering if they just kind of trying to omit that function.
Yeah, that's not
It's not
real.
realistic. That's not realistic. I'm for realism in my simulation games.
If you are a Microsoft fanboy, I harp on that. Where's the realism for the
Harp on the
hydroplane?
big,
Where's the realism for the hydroplane though?
because it's another challenge in the road. If you're gonna be flying in a car at 120 miles an hour on
Slick
a
tires.
road
Yeah.
with very slick tires and big
Yeah.
puddles, you're going to likely hydroplane.
If Microsoft, if Mario Kart can do it, I'm sure y'all can do it with that 1,000 million frames per second.
And one time for Shadow Fox was not here, all that live ray tracing.
Oh yes, and the live.
Bad thing is they could do it if they would be willing to put the resolution down to 480p, but they ain't willing to do that.
Nah, they ain't really do that. But I will say this: I did like the layout of how they're doing it, like especially with with you being at the little like village.
Yeah,
they
the hub
showed, I'm
thing.
like,
Yeah,
dude, that's actually a smart idea. To be fair,
What they
that's
should
a
have been
smart
doing.
idea. Yeah. I like the car selection. I liked how they said how you could go about getting the cars. I like that they have some old cars on there. And I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. So basically, if you're a gearhead, you should love that game. That's the game for you if you're a gearhead. Me personally, I'm not finna spend all that time if the car ain't real. Like I'm talking about like by real I mean parking
in my garage.
apartment. Yeah. I ain't gonna be spending no 30 to 45 minutes tuning a car on a virtual car. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Can you imagine playing Mario Kart having to tune a cart?
Well, it'd be different if it's an option for customization and customization only versus you got to do it to repair the car or fix issues with the car in the game.
Yeah.
Then this is just like, okay, that's
real.
the part of realism I don't want.
Yeah, because I'm not getting paid to do this. Am I going to charge myself? Yeah. So we had to change.
I mean, I guess if you live streaming it enough and you get popular enough live streaming it, then it would make it worth it.
So we had to, drop transmission, flush the radiator. So that's going to be like $250 parts and labor.
You gotta make sure your butt crack is out too, because you gotta make sure the crack is out.
Now
have that in a separate window on the street.
Yeah.
Now, normally this would take only about 30 minutes, but for you, just today, I'm gonna make sure it takes about 2.5 hours.
Because we want to make sure it's done right.
Yeah, make sure it's done properly. This Ferrari is a thing of beauty. And I would be remiss if I didn't charge you top dollar for everything.
See, that's why I miss the Daytona games and how it's funny because I used to do this all the time. When you go into the area to get it repaired, and they just take off the tires, they throw it back on the tires. The whole car is good to go. Your engine was messed up, but the change of the tires just made the whole thing work again.
Fixed everything. You can have a broken window. That window just suddenly repaired.
That's how games still need to be. Like, just remember,
like your car folding in on itself like a paper bag. But it's
just throw at the bottom. Game is not indicative of real life situations. Just keep it moving. You run into a whole car that's sliced in half, and ray tracing, but my man's just changed your back tire, and just surprisingly that tire just came back on. Yeah, that's how it should be.
Fresh paint job and everything.
Yeah.
but yeah, I liked what I saw. I'm not gonna lie. I liked what I saw. I can respect the artwork and the detail that they put into it, but that's not a game for me because I'm not a gearhead like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I, and I told people on the street when I did live reaction, I'm more of an arcade. I like arcade style racing, just because I had to have fun with it. I like my stuff to be ridiculous. That's why I'm liking Cruising Blast. I'm racing you with the Tyrannosaurus,
Right.
Yeah.
and you're in the Camaro. That's the kind of craziness I like.
But there was one thing that you had asked in the live stream, and I wish that they would do it, but it would probably only be able to be done for download version, and that's if your system has a disk drive. But that's to be able to import other songs and other
Yeah,
music
import your
into it,
own.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
your
Yeah.
own music. Yeah, 'cause they
or
used
have
to.
it link up to Spotify or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was like because I'm trying to remember. Didn't the 360 have that
Yeah.
option?
OG
Yeah.
Xbox had it for some
Yeah.
games. 360 had it for nearly everything. I think like one or
Mhm.
two omitted that ability.
Yeah. So I mean, especially with now with people using Pandora, Spotify. Hell, I think for a time, Microsoft you were getting like 3 months of Spotify when you bought a system.
Mhm.
So you're like, dude, if you know we doing this, why don't you have it where you can put your own playlist into the game, like
Just have it linked to your account.
it's linked to my
Yeah.
account, and I can just play it in the game because they were playing like there was some there was one part they were showing they started playing some orchestral music. I'm like, ain't nobody rocking to that while they driving.
Mm-mm.
Ironically
that's playing-
so, ironically so, they had that in test drive on the 360, and that was like the only music I would actually listen to as I'm driving down in my McLaren F1. But outside of that, you're right. I would never be listening to John Williams, Harry Potter,
Yeah,
driving
no,
racing.
I'm
That's
guessing.
not
Look, I
really.
guess it depends upon which car you got. Because I mean, if you got a really good classic souped up car, it's going to feel more epic riding
Yeah.
to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony than it is going to be.
Charles, pass this man real quick.
And then you do flip him the bird, please. Thank you.
Right.
I would say though they did have a nice looking Aston Martin in there, and I'm like, that's the car you should have been driving when you were playing that.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
but you ain't gonna sit here and tell me that you driving in the 2021 Camaro and you playing that. No, you playing Nas's Ether.
Yes.
Right.
That's what you're playing. Or you're playing the Mario diss track song from Mario versus Rabbids. Tom, or you playing that? Tom fanboy.
I mean, you could be bumping the Rough Riders anthem at
Yeah.
that point.
At that point, some DMX,
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's one thing, and because I was wondering why they didn't do that for a lot of stuff now. Because once again, since we're so, especially nowadays, like I still don't understand why they offer CDs with certain editions of games. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to rip this when I get it. Why don't you just give me an option to download it, please?
I mean, look, to have the available backup physically is nice too. That
It's
means
not-
you ain't got to read
Yeah.
it. You ain't got to hunt it out. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm like, dude, I haven't had a CD player in like 15 years, bro. Come on, man, work with me. I don't even have a CD player in my car.
I
Well,
mean,
you know-
technically, you got a disc-based system though, and that can be used as a CD player.
I was just about to say my car actually has a CD player, an 8-disc CD player in it, and you can rip the music off the CD onto the small computer that is in the car, so you can have it there permanently. And I think that's the last year that BMW did that. Like,
I don't, because mine now. If you look in them now, most of them they just have the MP3 or the Bluetooth hookup spot.
yeah,
They don't
yeah,
have like you. If matter of fact, if you want it in there, they're gonna charge you more for making them put it in there.
yep. That spot is for the screen now. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's for the So it's Spencer. That is true. But sometimes owning your own media does get in the way when you're trying to move. So
Mhm.
that is true. Dark
You
Void.
can't just digitally phase all that physical stuff like we in an anime.
Yeah,
Right.
it don't work like that. But Dark Boy, if it's true, if the Batman Arkham games are coming to the Switch, that would be nice. I hated Arkham Knight, but that's because
Was
I
suck
knew what
for
was
Arkham
going to
City
happen.
though.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen before they even got. I'm like, I already knew who the Arkham Knight was. I'm like, dude, they are really not hiding this very well. If you're a comic book fan, but I wouldn't mind it. I mean, the Arkham games are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I will always like which one was the one that was on Switch that used the gamepad?
Arkham City.
City,
It
yeah,
was Arkham
City.
City.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the best version of that game, by the way. It just made stuff so much simpler.
Not according to Digital Foundry.
Yeah,
Mm.
I was
Screw
just about to say
Digital
something.
Foundry.
I was just about to say something, but I'm not gonna say it.
I mean, look, these are the same people that acted like they could see the 1/10 of a frame missing.
Oh, and Mario Kart. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
so talking about the game one good because it doesn't hold 60 consistently. It drops to 59.
It drops from 60 frames to 59.9, and that's why I dislike it. Like, really? You mean to tell me you can see that 1/10 of a frame with your bare eye?
And then I think it was like the next week. That was when the Luigi meme came out of him looking mean when he was doing the slide. That's when that meme came out. I'm like, wow. I think it was a week after that. So I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah. But I would love to see. I wouldn't say I would love to. I wouldn't mind seeing, especially Arkham Knight, because Arkham Knight didn't get ported to Wii U, so we know we can run on Switch. So I wouldn't mind seeing a collection. I mean, like I already have like two collections. I have the Crisis collection and I have the Ninja Gaiden collection, just because I'm a Ninja Gaiden head and I am. I love punishment for some reason. So I mean, but yeah, I will say this. A friend of the channel said it best. He was like, "Look, I don't mind trilogies coming, but they need to be from like stuff 6th gen and below, because that makes more sense. Like repackaging HD games that are already supposedly in HD is getting a little old. Yeah, it's getting a little old, and look, everybody knows that the stuff from the 7th and the 8th gen, where we basically got lied to and told everything was 1080, 60 frames a second, and it wasn't.
That's my thing I don't really understand, especially when they try and make these remasters that come from 8th and 7th gen, is like, why? Like those, like, especially I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love for Arkham Knight to come to Switch. I think that, like, I had fun with the game and its open worldness, but like, just that game was already what? It's only like 6 years old, 5 years
6 years
old.
old, because
Like,
it came out
so why?
2016.
What is the point? Like, even just if you're trying to do it for the PlayStation 5 or for the Series X, and you like, okay, well, Switch is at 103 million, so we're gonna do it for them too.
Yeah.
The Switch is the only one that I see that's actually feasible. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were going to do it for the PS5 and the Series X, why don't you just do the whole backwards compatibility thing and just like call it good? Hey, yo, that supports that. Throw it there.
Yeah.
Good. Keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean that's what they should do. That's what they should do, because supposedly it played best on those systems. So why is it a problem? Why are you repackaging? Like Nintendo, yeah, they could get it because of the simple fact that most of those games skipped it.
Yeah.
So Ray, I will say this: I agree with you that Mega Man Legends Collection, yes, they should have been done that. And at that point, now we see Andre's heart just go down.
Look, I already did a video about this like 3 years ago. That it should have been done by now. Because it would be Mega Man Legends, Trombone, Misadventures, and then Legends 2. Or and as an alternative Mega Man 64, because that reconfigured some of the stuff from Legends.
Or they ain't done it yet. Tatsunoko versus Capcom remaster.
Or they Tatsunoko versus Capcom 2.
Yeah. Oh, Jobo, because they never put that Soul Calibur 2 for the Wii U when they were doing it for everybody else. But I know why they didn't do it, because we all know what would have happened. it would have been
They
a
would've-
GameCube all over again.
Yep,
They'd
it would
have
have
put
sold the
Link
best
because
there.
that would have been the only version that
That has
honestly that
everybody.
would have been the only version that would have been complete
Mhm.
because Link can only be on the Nintendo console
Yep.
unless Nintendo signs
And
a
they're not gonna do
licensing
that.
agreement.
They're not gonna do that. No.
They're not gonna do that. And the sad thing about it is, Link is the best character on that game.
Oh yeah,
Easily
he was
the best.
definitely the best. Out of the guest characters, he was definitely the best.
Yeah, he got the mid range game, the poke game, the long range game.
He,
Yeah,
his,
he
and I
was
remember,
unfair.
I remember how they tried to promote, how they tried to downplay Link in the Prima guide, try to say he
Yeah.
was slow compared to fast characters and weak compared to strong. I was like, nah. If you
No,
know
he
what,
wasn't.
Link was
He was-
dangerous.
He was
Because-
the problem.
Putting it that way, Link was much stronger than the fast characters, and he
Yeah.
was much faster than the stronger characters.
Yeah.
So either way, it balances itself out.
Yeah.
The only character I
And
actually
his
had trouble
combos
with,
were wild.
the only character I actually had trouble fighting with in Soul Calibur 2 as Link was Nightmare. That's the only character because he had that switch up where he could actually like take off a chunk if you got too close.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
sometimes some of Link's combos were like
Leave
they
it
would
wide
stretch
open.
a little bit and he could do it. But other than that, I
Yeah.
ran through everybody, including
Yeah.
Inferno. Inferno sucked.
I was gonna say Inferno, Voldo, because he had that weird style,
Yeah.
but because his style was always trying to switch and trying
Yeah.
to
You catch him.
use the arena.
catch
Oh,
him.
you would catch him so easy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know.
So, yes.
Like, see,
Yeah.
I always use that great fairy sword. Once I unlocked it,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
beat
Oh.
everybody with it.
Bruh, when you go like the Great Fairy Sword, all you had to do was get him to the middle of the ring and it was automatic ring out. You get him to the middle of the ring and it's over. So yeah, Link was OP. And somebody tried to explain to me why they didn't do it for the Wii U, and I'm like, dude, it still doesn't make any sense. Because here's my problem with Bandai Namco: they love to say, "Oh yeah, man, look, we would love to put it on that system, but it just won't run."
Mhm.
15 million
And then
units sold
then money later.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Fighters, it couldn't run.
Mhm.
Switch
Dragon Ball Z
crosses 40
Kakarot.
million.
Kakarot was
Yeah.
infamous for that.
Kakarot. They said the same thing with Kakarot. People
Yeah.
asked them about Soul Calibur, and I consider it half Soul Calibur 6. I'm like, you couldn't put this on Switch, really?
That could have been on the Switch.
And the worst part is they are working hand in hand with Sakurai on
Smash
Smash.
Bros. Yeah.
Come on now, stop it.
But
Yeah.
like I said, like me and Jay both said, if they don't want to put Soul Calibur in there, nah, we good with that. Give us a Nintendo game based on all the Nintendo weapons characters.
Yep.
Man, what is that
I
game
told-
that they were working on?
I
It
told
had monsters. What was
Uh,
that? Oh, what was that game? Pokken. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
Pokken
the game.
Tournament,
That's
yeah.
the name of the game.
Well, that was
Do another
Harada.
one
That
of
was a
those.
Tekken team. That was a Tekken team. That wasn't a Soul Calibur team. Me and Andre actually did a whole podcast telling them how they could just take the characters from the Legend of Zelda series by themselves and make a 30 character deep
Mm-hmm.
Soul
Mhm.
Calibur game.
Mm-hmm.
I promise
But-
you to sell more than 6.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it will sell
yeah.
way more. Look,
Oh,
you look, and the build-up could be very easy. They could do one for the Legend of Zelda, they could do one for Fire Emblem, and if they
Yeah.
really want
Oh,
to
they
be
could
greedy,
definitely do it.
they could do one for Dragalia Lost, and then do
Mhm.
a combo game with all of them.
With all of them, yeah. But I was sitting because the one I did was because I was sitting up. It was right after Breath of the Wild dropped, and I'm like, because I was mad because we couldn't play as the champions. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like that doesn't make any sense. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I started thinking. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so Bandai, y'all don't want to give Nintendo Soul Calibur. Fine. How about y'all just y'all did it for Pokken. You got Harada to help do Pokken tournament. Why don't you just take the Soul Calibur team and do it with the Legend of Zelda characters? And before anybody says anything, you can actually take a character from Hyrule Warriors, Lana, and have her as the reason why it happens.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It writes itself. But the thing is, if they do it, it'll be more popular than Soul Calibur.
I don't want to
Oh
do
yeah,
that. though.
definitely would.
That's saying that their own IP isn't as popular as Nintendo's, and
But they know that.
I know they know. I know that we all know that they know that. That's why Pac-Man is in Smash.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to help another person out and put your people in, than get somebody else's stuff and watch
Mhm.
it sell better than your
Than
stuff
yours, yeah.
and you working on it. Like, yeah.
Or they could just make Soul Calibur for everybody like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
Would be smart.
Yeah,
I mean, they could
hashtag
still make
Lord from
Soul Calibur
Smash.
for everybody and then do the separate Nintendo game if they want more money. But
Yeah,
it's smart people would do.
yeah, hashtag Lord Irving for Smash. So yeah, that, that being said, yeah, I agree. Like Fire Emblem should have their own weapon-based fighter. Legend of Zelda could do it too. Dragalia Lost. I actually played that finally. It's not bad.
It's not. It's a
It's really not
one-handed
bad.
dungeon crawler.
It's basically what it is. Get it off mobile. Give me a console version. So just get off
Look, I
mobile. Give
made
me a
those
console version.
videos. They just gotta listen.
They probably already do. And if I see this summer Nintendo Direct talking about Dragalia Lost coming to the Switch in 2023, I'm gonna look right at you.
I mean, because look, if people don't understand the joke, but I've made that joke on Twitter, and I think a few people that follow us have followed that joke, especially Eric Maverick.
Yeah.
But Uden is Link, literally
Yeah.
Link.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally Link. He's oblivious to everything, but everybody wants to get in his pants. And it's not a joke. It is not a joke. Like half the women that he encounters want to bed him, and he is just.
They really went like full on anime with that. Like they went full on anime with that.
It's like he's just so oblivious to it. And the one girl that thought that he was actually talking to her, she come to find out that he didn't mean it the way she thought he meant it.
Yeah.
It was like that's a whole funny storyline.
That's all, like it's actually not bad. It's actually not bad. That's why I was surprised that you didn't make it in the Smash. I was actually surprised because I thought they would have did that.
That's because they'd have to try to make him like he'd be a balance of two different characters. He'd be Link and Corrin.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to think about it. He's got the transformations into the different dragons, and they have to figure out how to work that, and that could affect his final smash. It's a lot of work to put that character in there.
And everybody knows Sakurai is a freaking perfectionist, so he ain't gonna do it if he can't get it to work right. He'll drop the whole character. So, I mean, yeah. Andre, we might have to revisit that.
We definitely can.
We probably have to revisit that one because we did that one a long time ago. So we probably need to revisit that one sometime.
I think the video I did separately of that is like 2 or 3 years old now. Yeah. So
we probably need to do one for that and probably one for Fire Emblem because Fire Emblem would probably be like damn near 60 characters though. We'd have to figure out which.
Yeah, that would be Fire Emblem's kind of just a tad bit hard because you got so many characters in there
and so many that people actually love.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I just thought about something real sneaky if they did it with Dragalia Lost, and they could probably lean on Capcom to throw Mega Man in there if they did because he was a part of one of their promotions. Mega Man was in the Dragalia Lost promotion.
He was. It was Mega Man. It was somebody else from Capcom, wasn't it?
Wasn't it him at Zero?
It was classic Mega Man, and I think Base or Proto.
Okay, Base. Okay, I was saying it was somebody else too. It wasn't just him. Okay, Jobo. Whatever happened to Legend of Legaia? What did happen? I don't know.
I thought that came out. Didn't it come out? Hold on, let me look.
I don't know.
Okay, look it up.
You got it. All right. And yes, Trinell, the soundtrack of Dragalia Lost is awesome.
Yes, it is. Some of those songs remind me of Chrono Trigger, though.
Yeah, which is another game that deserves a remaster remake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, the PS1 game. I was thinking of Legend of Legacy. Never mind. That would be a good game to bring back, though. Legend of Legaia. I haven't seen it in so long. I was thinking of Legend of Legacy, which was a recent game where I hate those naming conventions. But Legend of Legaia, that probably would have been good to bring back.
Yeah, there's a lot of games from like
it was a highly rated game for PS1. It just sat there.
You want to know something though? I just thought about it. Why in the world? I forgot. Capcom's allergic to money. But Breath of Fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they
dropped them on the Super Nintendo thing.
The first two on Super Nintendo, 3 and 4 were on PS1 and Saturn, I think.
Yeah, the
Bring it
first
back.
two were, I think, were published by Square Enix, but no, the
Yeah.
first one was published by Square Enix. The
Second was
Capcom took over
Capcom.
after that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 3 and 4 were on Saturn and PS1. So that's another one. Like Breath of Fire, especially with like everybody loving JRPGs again.
Mhm.
But then I
sounds
remember
good.
it's Capcom and they're allergic to money. So
I mean, but Monster
Man.
Hunter came out and was successful, so you think that they would have
Capcom is allergic to money.
Yeah.
or they're allergic to common
Meanwhile,
sense.
meanwhile, Square Enix spending all the money, and we still haven't gotten a Legend of Dragoon. So
I mean, they spending so much
Mhm.
money. They are hemorrhaging it. They want so now that's I think there's one of those companies they want somebody to buy them and nobody will because they don't want to take on
Too
that
much
debt.
debt.
Mm-mm.
They ain't trying to take on that debt. Now I think Apple could do it, but
Probably
then
won't
if
want
Apple
to,
bought
though.
them, guess what happens? Now you're not getting Final Fantasy.
No, you might get the MOBA.
Yeah, you go.
I mean, no, you could get Final Fantasy. It would just be 2D HD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
that's as far as it's gonna go.
Yep.
because like the only company I really think that could take on all that debt is probably Google and Apple. Microsoft ain't gonna do it because Satella ain't gonna let them. I can't see a situation in which Satella will let them buy Square
Yeah,
with all that, unless he's
Ray,
gonna buy them and
Ray,
then fire
Ray,
everybody
why
like
you
he
trying to
did.
give somebody alcohol poisoning?
Take a shot every time. That's true.
Oh yeah, Dark Void. Yeah, Parasite Eve. That's
Parasite Eve,
that's a
I
good
would
man.
love
one.
to see that come back.
Okay, now best commercials they ever had. Parasite Eve
Mm-hmm.
had the best commercial, and Army Men
Oh, I remember that
and
one.
Ready to
Yes.
Rumble. Those are
Yes.
the best game commercials ever.
Yeah.
Army Men, Sergeant's War.
Yep.
That commercial was crazy.
Sarge's War or Sarge's Heroes?
Both of them, because the
Okay.
Sergeant's War commercial was the one where they were in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, and the Sarge's Heroes one was
Yeah.
the one that was for the 64.
Yeah, Sergeant Heroes was 64. I think they were in the kitchen.
Yeah, they were fighting in the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. And Ready to Rumble, when they had Afro Thunder actually go to a
Afro
real
Thunder.
barbershop, they had him go to a real barbershop
And
after
he
Buddy
messed his hair.
bit his afro. And they were like chucking his afro out. He was like, "Cut me, dog." And he's in a real barbershop. I'm like, okay, that's funny.
You can't
And yeah, they had like the late '90s, early to mid 2000s had some of the best gaming commercials ever.
Yeah.
Like the first Smash Brothers with all of them walking in that field and
Oh,
they
that
start
was
beating the bricks off
hilarious.
each
Oh
other.
my gosh. What they had the song going and everything, hand in hand with each other, and just started bopping each other.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world is going on? What is this?
And at that point, a legend was born.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was a classic.
Yeah,
That was a
that
classic.
was a classic. So I mean, oh, and the Power Stone commercials. You had the little Power
yeah.
Stone commercials.
Oh yeah.
With they rip
Like,
off Chaos Emeralds that they trying to say.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
hold
like-
on, you could argue theirs are stronger though because transformation happens at 3.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
does. It does. So I would say like Sega had probably some of the best creative minds when it came to like commercials because they just did a better job on them. Oh, before we get out of here, I do have to say I did watch the first episode of the Shenmue anime. It's actually not bad.
Okay, so it's not gonna play out like the game with the stiff robotic voices.
Nah, but they do. Rio does take a hellacious ass whooping.
Well, that's not a surprise. He does in the game.
Yeah, but it's kind of worse in animated form because they can actually put all
It's
the extra
live.
stuff to it.
Yeah,
So
it's
you're
not
like,
real
bro,
time.
how are you alive after this, dude? Like, Lana D is. You just gotta shoot him, dog. I don't know what to say. Just shoot him. I don't know what to say, dude. You sit up here like.
I mean, he
that's
beat
when
your
you take
father
an
to death with
RPG.
his bare hands, and you just ran up the fight.
Yeah. So they actually redo that scene in the anime, and it actually they did a good job with it. I like the first episode.
No, but you know that makes me think of the scene with the brawl at the docks
Yeah.
with him and the detective fighting the whole gang.
I can't wait to see
Oh,
that.
that
I
would
can't
look
wait
beautiful.
because they're setting it up like the main things from the game is looking like that's what they're basing the episode
It's the
around,
game without the side quest.
basically. Although they
Mhm.
do need, although they kind of hinted that he's gonna get like training from each of the people that you meet.
Yeah,
Like Tom's gonna train him in capoeira. The old
and
man's gonna train him with the pit blow and that Jujukatami, that
mhm.
judo throw. So like you're gonna meet the people that you need to meet to learn stuff. But yeah, they actually showed the detective. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to see that scene at the docks. That's gonna
That's gonna be
be
a battle because I
yeah.
remember that fight in the game when that was stressful.
Stressful ain't the word for it because it's like it's one of those
Dude after
situations.
dude after dude.
Yeah, like if you ever played Kingdom Hearts 2 where he goes and Hollow Bash has to do that 1,000,
Oh, and the countless.
it's like that where you
Yeah.
like, God damn, how many henchmen this dude
I
got?
think
I'm
you
like,
you fight. I think you fight like 50 of them
yeah,
consistently
yeah,
Hmm.
because as soon as you
because
knock one down, the other ones come
another
right
one
back.
come right out
Yeah, and it's
and they don't
like,
give you
bruh,
no break.
none whatsoever. But I
I,
did enjoy the first episode. I'm actually interested in seeing the rest of it. I'm like, okay, this because at first I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I'm like, no, it's actually not bad. It's actually not bad. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. But yeah, if you want
see.
to catch it's I'm watching it on Crunchyroll, but it
Okay.
did have that hashtag Adult Swim too. So I'm guessing it's going to Adult Swim as well. So
Mhm.
I don't know how that's going to work out because I don't really watch Adult Swim like that no more.
Yeah, neither do I.
I mean, it was. I think now it's what Saturdays at 10 from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I ain't doing
Ain't
all that.
nobody spending time
No.
to
No,
be up for that shit.
like I said, I got Hulu and Crunchyroll. My anime is covered.
Right.
I
So
was just thinking though, are they going to try to make it as accurate to the game as possible for that battle at the docks? Because I remember running around in circles to let my health rebuild before I fought.
I will say this that fight with Landy, they made it accurate to that
Mm,
to the
yeah,
game. So
this
I
that means there's going to be a lot of really good fights though, because you got
yeah,
to think some of those opponents that he had kick your butt.
I'm talking about not yeah, they were not playing
It'd
around.
be
Like it's
knockdown, drag out brawls and one on
yeah,
one fights. Like
yeah.
man,
And the easy people that you beat up, that like the bullies and stuff. I
they
never
gonna get
understand
crushed.
like Japanese bullies. I never understand like these dudes like it's to the point where he's not like you can just walk around and see clearly he's a bully. He got a trench coat
Yeah,
on.
he's a bully right
He
there.
got a trench coat on and a pompadour.
Yep.
He a bully.
Shrugged over look.
Yeah.
And he gonna run up and get knocked out first.
Knocked
All
out.
right. Every
Cool
time.
bar all over again.
Kazuma Kuwabara.
Yeah. Every time.
It, the only one that looked like a thug that really wasn't one. But yeah, people, that's gonna do it for this episode because we are way over time.
Mhm.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks to everybody that commented that hung out with us today. We really appreciate you. Andre, anything you want to pimp out?
I mean, look, videos are just popping up. I just had a bunch of stuff pop up yesterday, and there's gonna be more. Just look out for them.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. There was like 18 this morning. So
Yeah, I was like, Andre, I'm gonna have to move these over for the course of the week. I can't
Move
do
them
all
over
of
to
them.
watch later.
Yeah, can't do them all at once.
yeah. Sandstorm.
Um, we have we're starting to change in the house in the McDowell house. We have a side business going that is very legal. So I don't want to hear anybody talk about uh you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so we have a side business going. So I'm still gonna try and stick to the Wednesdays and Saturdays for videos. I didn't get to one this past week because I had to do a whole bunch of research for this stuff and prepare for all of this change. So we're gonna try and get something going. I still got more Arceus to play. I think the last time y'all seen I was at like 20, level 20 or something like that. I'm at like almost level 50. So and only in the second area. So don't be mad when you see there's been just a little bit of a change. It's okay. You ain't missed too much. I'll explain it. But that's it. Yeah.
In other words, people, if you want any games on burn, just go to Sandstorm.
Yeah, come to me. But I'm just telling you right now, I ain't burning no games. Maybe.
Okay, so today I did a if you're watching Book of Boba Fett, me and Vicky did our episode 6 review this morning, so check that out. I also did a live stream of Grandia 2 with the going through the body of Valmar. I'm actually gonna go back to Grandia 2 probably tomorrow and live stream the St. Heim Papal State stuff just so I can show y'all how jacked up this game gets.
It gets really jacked up.
It gets really jacked up. So I cut it a little short because I didn't that part is actually a little bit longer and I didn't want to go for like 3 hours. So I'll probably play that tomorrow afternoon. So check out the gaming channel, Twitch, if you want to see those. Other than that, I do plan on doing some gameplay for Guilty Gear Strive. They released biking last week, so I gotta show some love for biking, and I plan on doing some gameplay probably of Central Fiction because I forgot that Blaze Blue Central Fiction came out like 3 years ago, and I forgot to pick it up. So there's that. So I'll probably be playing that. It's probably gonna be a fighting game week this week for me as far as live streaming is concerned outside the Grandia 2 stuff. But other than that, thank you guys once again for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. We really do appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, follow, all the other good stuff. Make sure to follow everybody here as well. And we will see you guys next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
Peace, folks.